Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? Oops, we weren't live, were we?
No, we were.
Now we are?
No, we were.
Okay. Hello, everybody. How you doing? A little bit of anarchy coming at you from Utah. Yeah, everybody, this is Radio DJ. Welcome to the show. We've got a lot of big lineup for you today. We're really excited about this. We got some songs from Anarchy. We got some songs from Asher and some songs from Jason. And some songs from Jed Mckenna. Okay, everybody, the show is beginning to start. We're going to dive right in with the Refiner's Fire.
Welcome to Seeker Aspirant Victim. I'm Asher.
I'm Jason.
And we are on the poem chapter Refiner's Fire.
The Refiner's Fire. We're jumping to fire. That's a fire! Extra points if you know where that came from. The battle for truth is waged upon untruth. When the flames have consumed all and the smoke is cleared, only truth remains. Destroy everything, burn it all, incinerate even your heart, throw your soul into the furnace. This is the great conflagration. Nothing false will survive, nothing true will perish. This is the process, this is the war. The battlefield is you, the battle is absolute. If you don't like it, don't do it. It will always be here waiting. Jed Mckenna. Yo, serious. What's up? Good to see you, man. Hope things are going well for you. So, I'm going to mention a little bit about this Refiner's Fire. I've read this book a lot of times, so I tend to skip the poetry a little. What?
Me.
What are you saying?
Talk to me. Not to them.
You.
No.
Okay, so I skipped the poems a little bit. You know, I haven't paid much attention to this one, but after all the years of reading it, I'm reading this poem, and to me, it just has everything in it.
With the fire part?
Yeah, like the battle for truth is waged upon untruth. Yeah. Okay, that's a theme he's always going to say.
You're saying it's
that
like
you're fighting the lies.
Very encapsulating.
Yeah, says everything. You're fighting the lies, right? You're not trying to find truth. Where's truth? You're just killing the lies to see what's left. When the flames have consumed all and the smoke's cleared, only truth remains. Again, saying that's his process. Is kill shit, kill shit, kill shit, kill shit. Are you guys interested in talking with Jed?
No, because he wouldn't be interested in talking to us.
He might. He's probably had fans before, but not like us. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly the people he would be avoiding.
Oh yeah, we would scare him. We would just be following him around. I try to give him all my money in my house to just please get me enlightenment. Don't worry, Jed. I know you're listening. I wouldn't do that. Got to have a sense of humor. Destroy everything, burn it all, incinerate even your heart. Again, your heart. Your heart's going to be part of the untruth that's going to hold you back. We'll see that a lot in the second book.
Yeah. With
Arjuna and the Bhagavad Gita. Throw your soul even into the furnace. Like test it all. Test everything. You can ask some questions. I think it's legit, but I'm not 100% sure. There was a forum. Cool. I will warn you about something. Let me bring this up for you. Wisefool. What? I'm going to show something to you. That is not.
No, wisefoolpress.com.
Wisefoolpress.com.
You put spaces.
Okay. Let me show you something. There is a disclaimer at the bottom of Wisefool Press on the front page. Go check it out. And he says these words: Jed Mckenna is not an active teacher, online or off. He does not engage in social media or forums. He does not give classes or workshops or accept money from students. Oh, I wouldn't give you a penny, asshole. I already have about the book.
Yeah.
He has no teaching or products other than those offered by Wisefool Press and our international publishing partners. Anyone claiming to be Jed or to speak for him is misrepresenting themselves. I think that's a fairly new addition to the page, and I think it's pretty interesting because I do know that some people out there are claiming that he is active on the forums, and
I think that's probably why they posted that.
And that's why they posted that. We just don't know, and we can't know. So,
Yeah, we don't.
Right? We don't. Okay, so nothing false will survive, nothing true will perish. This is, again, the paradigm that he's operating under. And he's, is just test it. Let's see what remains, right? And this is the process. This is the war. That's a battle thing. The battlefield is you. You're not really out there searching out there. The war's inside. And then he asks this line, the battle is absolute. Like the battle is absolute to get to truth. If truth is absolute, then it's a real absolute war. And if you don't like it, the final ends with don't do it. Like he doesn't have a teaching. He's not saying come do this. He says you want to find it, you can. Oh, I'm supposed to talk to you?
I don't give a fuck about them. I'm here to talk to you.
He doesn't care about you.
I really don't.
I've been training myself to stare into a fucking camera and talk.
I know that, and I noticed that, and that's why I'm telling you. You're doing great with that. I'm here to talk to you.
Can you hear me? You want me to turn it up? Okay, so we have hit one chapter. We've knocked it out of the park real quick. And now we're going to go to the willing suspension of disbelief. And it's a new chapter, and I don't know how far we'll get, but we'll get on getting.
Let us forget the lapse of time. Let us forget the conflict of opinions. Let us make our appeal to the infinite and take up our positions there. Wangzhou?
Wangzhou? I don't know. Let's look it up.
Chuang.
Chuang.
Space TZU.
TZU. Okay. I looked it up, and the pronunciation is Zhuangzhou.
Zhuangzhou.
Zhuangzhou. And I'm going to give you a little update on him. Chinese, Master Zhuang, was an influential Chinese philosopher who lived around the 4th century BC, so quite a long while ago. So,
I'm going to read it again because it's short. Let us forget the lapse of time. Let us forget the conflict of opinions. Let us make our appeal to the infinite and take up our positions there. I love those last two lines.
Yeah, that's so Jed. Like, we're going to go to infinite consciousness. That's where it's all at. Hey, I want to add a couple things that's really interesting is that I'm having a cross sections of things, right? So I'm reading a book by Become Supernatural by Joe Dispenza. I'm reading a book, The Book of Secrets by Deepak Chopra. And, those might be the two. And then the Jed books I'm reading. I'm reading Dream State with Jenny, and I'm reading Jed Talks 1 and 2 with Jenny. Oh, and I'm listening to stuff by David Data. The awareness face of it, like all of them are saying consciousness is the exact same. I mean, all of these people are trying to become human adults, except for Jed, who's not. Yeah. So, like he says, remember there's times when he said, if you want to become a human adult, maybe I'll help you do that, but fuck it, I'm not going to do it. Just point you the way. There's other people who do it. But Chopra and Dispenza, are really trying to get you to access awareness like this. Go wide. I'm aware of awareness. I'm aware of awareness, and proceed from there.
Yeah, I listened to a podcast today with Deepak Chopra on it, and I had that thought when I was listening to it. Like, I was just like, oh, he's on top of all this stuff.
Yeah, I'm reading his shit, and every once in a while it sounds like a little new agey with the Chopra stuff, and I think, oh, he's just a goofball. And then you read the next paragraph, and he just slays what he just said and goes to awareness and goes, there's only one truth. And he says exactly what Jed says. He just says it nicer and is more interested in helping people become human adults. I mean, that's one note I put through it all the time. I just keep saying, he says how to get there is through meditation.
Yeah.
And Jed is saying, no, doesn't work that way. No, you have to go on a murderous rampage.
Well, where I would say maybe, I don't know for sure, but consider maybe that Chopra is saying use meditation to reach the place of awareness within yourself that maybe is going to help you start on your path towards the burning and cutting. What are you doing?
I hear Jenny in the kitchen. I get over there. Go back. Ready?
So I got diagnosed with ADHD a little while ago. I think my dad has it too.
Yeah, that was smart. I had to do that. She would have killed me.
Okay.
Okay, so let me frame this. So I was bringing up the Jed thing, I've been doing spiritual autolysis for years now. And the other day I felt this little fear come up about something, right? In my body. And I went, holy fuck. Like it's still there. Like it's not going away. And so I wrote some notes, like the task seems impossible. These are Jed thoughts. It's indomitable. It's too huge. And it's not the good part. Like I haven't yet even got to the part where I'm Arjuna and I see my heart and fall down. I'm just still got fears in me. Like they keep coming back. Like they're not. And I sat there and I had this thought. There's a story by C.S. Lewis. It's the 7 Stories Chronicles of Narnia. Okay. And in the 4th one or the 3rd one, whichever one it is, the Voyage of the Dawn Treader, there's a guy named Eustace Scrubb, okay? And he's a kid and he's a dick. He's just a dick. And he ends up being cursed and turned into a dragon, okay? And he's a dick. And he tries to talk to the people and they're like his people and they will stay away from us. And so he's fucked. So he finally goes to Aslan, who is the Christ-like figure. And he says, I am fucked. How do I become a human again? And he goes, well, you're a human underneath, says the divine. You're a human. And he goes, oh, yeah, I am underneath. He goes, yeah, all you gotta do is scrape that fucking skin off. And so Eustace goes, and he's like, yeah. And he looks in the mirror and he's just a dragon. And he's just taped off scales. And so he goes, okay. And he just fucking keeps doing it and layer after layer. And he's not fucking changing. And he's all like, what the fuck's going on? And he goes, you just got millions of layers, dude. And he's all like, well, then I'm fucked. And he goes, yeah, you're fucked. Now, C.S. Lewis is a Christian author, so he has a agenda, but this might be useful.
What was he trying to?
But let me finish. Because this is like what I think where I felt this morning. Was he goes, well, then how do I fucking do this? Am I cursed? Am I this dragon forever? And Aslan goes, well, no, I could help you. And he goes, okay. And then the lion, he goes, do it. Like, just take it up. And so the lion holds up his paw and, you see the 5 claws go ding, 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 ding. And he's like, and he just goes boom right into him and right to the heart and rips it off. And he's screaming and yelling and fucking dying as he just tears the lion just tore in a bloody fucking hellish fucking bloodbath. Tears the skin off. A Jed style bloodbath, but it's supposed to be Christ saving you.
Jesus Christ.
Right? It's supposed to be Christ saving you. And then the kid comes out and he's just a little kid and his skin is like new and naked and pink and he's been reborn as his true self. And he goes back to his people and he apologized and he's just a good guy from then on. Like it worked. But he found out who he truly was underneath all the dragon shit. Right? So what I am suggesting to you is this morning, as I was doing another stack, another journey, another layer of fear, I went, I am fucked. Like it's not going away. The next day, there's another fear. And let me be honest, these fears are subtle as fuck. Like I'll just be sitting there and I'll think, damn, I don't have enough money. And my body goes, ugh. I'm like, oh, fuck. Stack that. Awareness is awareness. Infinite possibilities. I feel perfect. 2 minutes later, I don't have enough money. Whoa, fuck. Like, I mean, it just doesn't fucking go away. And that came up to me and I went, I am suspecting Jed, that Jed's right. Like I'm making progress as a human adult. I'm making progress. I'm becoming more aware of my fears and I'm killing them as much as I can. Right? I mean, I got to give myself some credit. I'm different in the last 10 years, right?
Drastic.
Right? But I don't think I'm going to make it. Like, unless the lion tears me apart or I take the first step.
That's not true. I think you will.
Yeah, because the fears would just stay there. So
But
I'm just telling you, that's what frame came up for me this morning. And the thought of the lion shredding me, I was like, you got to be careful what you ask for, right? So I am being careful what I ask for. But that was what came up for me. And I can feel it. Like, holy shit, those layers are thin. It's just a little fear of bullshit. And then you get it, and there's just another one there. There's another one there. There's another one there. That's my experience right now.
When I get home, it's quiet time, so I tiptoe upstairs and run the shower. I have an embarrassingly excellent bathroom that's as great a departure from the house's agricultural roots as the home theater room. When Sonia came, it was only natural that she should take the upstairs guest room. The house only had one full bath then, so we had to share it, which was slightly awkward for both of us. She decided that the best solution was to convert one of the other upstairs bedrooms into a master bath accessed from my bedroom. At first, she included me in the planning, but she quickly became exasperated with my meddling with my meddling desire for simple functionality. She already had control of the household accounts, so she just excluded me from the process and did what she wanted. So what I ended up with was one of those bathrooms like you see in design magazines. She did it in an elegant cherry wood and black granite style that doesn't excessively violate the overall feel of the house. The design is very Japanese in its simplicity, and I certainly couldn't have wished for anything better. I whined about the cost of it at one point, and Sonia just looked at me like I was soft in the head. She knows that money is just something that flows, that it comes and it goes, and that if you don't disrupt the flow, there's always plenty. It's me who sometimes forgets. While showering, my mind revisits the afternoon on the grass with Jolene. I had used the variation on Plato's cave analogy to illuminate the differences between enlightenment and mysticism, and she seemed to get it pretty well. If you hadn't noticed, I'm big on analogies. In fact, here's an analogy about why I like analogies. If you're trying to explain fire to someone who's never seen it or felt it, then you're pretty much stuck with comparing it to things they're already familiar with. Of course, it's no substitute for the direct experience of fire. It's just the best you can do under the circumstances. It serves the additional purpose that when they come across real fire, they'll know what they're looking at. Jolene wasn't familiar with the Plato's cave allegory, much less my cinematic variation, so I took it from the top and ran through it quickly. There's a guy sitting in a movie theater, but he doesn't really know he's in a theater. He's seated in such a way that all he can see is the screen. No other seats, no other moviegoers, just the screen. What's more, he's shackled. He can't move around, can't look around. His head and body are held in place by chains. This isn't really Plato, is it? Not only that, but he's been here his entire life. It's the only reality he's ever known, sitting here, watching images on the screen, and listening to the soundtrack. That's all he knows of reality. You're making this up. So think about what it's like when you go to see a movie. Have you heard the term willing suspension of disbelief? She shook her head no. It's the deal you make every time you go to a movie. You agree to relax your discrimination and let the movie in. You know the movie isn't reality, but you will sit quietly for 2 hours and allow yourself to experience it as if it were. You suspend your disbelief in order to form an empathetic bond with the plight of the characters, and the movie, in return, agrees not to overstrain credulity and make it too difficult for you to believe. Make sense? Like playing make-believe. Oh, like playing make-believe? She asked. Exactly. And then, when the movie's over, you go back out into the harsh light of reality and stop suspending your disbelief. Okay? Sure. So our guy is sitting there watching the film, completely absorbed and believing that this is all there is to life. He has no disbelief. He is empathetically bound to the characters and events on the screen. After all, what else does he know? The images on the screen are reality, and that's what life is. Okay, she said somewhat dubiously. But then one day, for whatever reason, he happens to look down and notice that his shackles aren't really locked. His captivity has been an unchallenged illusion. Cool. Yeah, that's what he thinks, but scary too. So he gets himself free of his bonds and, for the first time ever, stands up and looks around. In looking around, it begins to dawn on him that there's another level of reality which he has always been completely ignorant. That makes him wonder about the images on the screen that he had always unquestioningly accepted as reality. So he looks around and sees the flickering lights overhead and traces them back to source. The projectionist's booth, she said. Right. So now where are we? Our guy has freed himself from delusion and begun the process of awakening to the larger reality, right? She nodded. He's looking around inside the theater, exploring this new, realer reality, right? She nodded. In this dark theater, he has always been watching the light, right? The light reflecting off the screen. But now he sees the source of the light, the source of the images he mistook for reality before. So now he identifies the projectionist's booth as the true source of reality, since that's where the light is coming from, the only light in the whole place. Come on, said Jolene, feeling that I was stretching it.
So
Hey.
I got an interesting question for you, right? So in the physical body, science question, the physical body, if you're sitting here, I see you as a separate entity at the moment, right?
Yeah.
I'm kind of aware that we're all one. I have a kind of a feel, right? What has happened scientifically and biologically to Jed or to anyone else who's been enlightened? Like in their brain, what is the brain chemistry of seeing? Like, I can feel you, but you're not real. Like, what's happened in the brain chemistry that he's killed the illusion? Like, he's still, eyes are still going to see light bouncing off and see separation and depth. He can stand up and walk. He can reach to grab something. So the biology still works.
I've wondered about that myself, but like,
That's you. Oh, that's you.
because my earbuds are attached to my phone, sorry.
The more it buzzed, the more I held still in my chair. And the more it would buzz, the more I'm thinking, I can't hold any stiller. It's me. Just the biology of it.
I've wondered if what a brain scan would look like.
Yeah.
But I would doubt that any person that was in that state would probably consent to that. It would be cool.
Someone would, yeah. I mean, let's find out what's going on.
But also,
like they've been doing studies on love, and right, there's this lady. Oh, I can't remember her name, but I should reference it. And like when you're in infatuation, they look at your brain, and there's a part that shoots on, and there's a part for anger that shoots on. So where's the let's take Betty, Byron, Katie, and put her under fucking MRI and see what the fuck's going on in her head.
yeah,
Because she has experienced incredible pain, and she's just aware of it. She goes, I'm aware of pain. It's interesting. And where more normal people, the doctors are going, you should be screaming your fucking bloody mind out. And she's all like, I feel it. I just don't have to react to it. I'm enlightened. I see it as an illusion. What the fuck is going on in their heads?
yeah, I don't know.
Okay, go on.
Hey, it's a wake-up story, not a bedtime story. If you've got a problem with it, talk to Plato. Okay, go ahead. You get the point, right? The boy is in his first stages of breaking free and discovering, the guy is in his first stages of breaking free and discovering the truth. He's seeing that what he always thought of as reality was just a two-dimensional trick of light and shadow. He pulled back the curtain and revealed the wizard. Yeah, I get it, she said, smiling indulgently. Delusion, I cried. I get it, she said, giggling. Okay. So our guy musters the courage to have a look around the theater. As you might imagine, it takes him a while to adjust to this new and far vaster, far richer reality. It takes time for his muscles and senses to adapt, not to mention dealing with the emotional impact of the fact that his life up to this point has been a sham. You're sure this is Plato, right? She asked playfully. The Plato? Believe me, you're getting the user-friendly version. She laughed and I continued. Our guy might also see that the aisle leads to a door and that the light is coming in. And that light is coming in beneath the door. Maybe he sees it, maybe he doesn't. Got all that? Is that it? No, that's just what's going on. Now we're going to use it to answer your question. I forget what my question was. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, the difference between mysticism and enlightenment. She was getting the hang of giving me grief. She rolled up onto her knees, her posture full of attentiveness, and I continued. Once he's over the initial shock and has adjusted to his new reality, he sees that the theater is actually quite large and full of other people like himself, engaged in all sorts of different activities. Plato said this? She asked. No, this is me talking now. Plato didn't have this much fun with it. What we're seeing now is that there are a lot of people in the theater engaged in a lot of different activities, she sassed back. Oh, really? I sassed. What sort of people? What sort of activities? She was a bit perplexed. I don't know. It's your theater, she said. It's yours now, I replied. So she gave it some thought. To her credit, she didn't just start blurting out answers. I knew she was reviewing the theater in her mind, trying to put it together. If I could only have one teaching tool, it would be the updated cave allegory, or better yet, the Wachowski brothers' cave allegory of the Matrix. Almost any aspect of the journey of awakening can be explained within the framework of the cinema and on the aisle that leads to the exit. Of course, I've taken a number of liberties with the analogy, but I think Plato would have approved. Yamamoto Roshi is in the theater, she stated with certainty. Okay, what is he doing? Teaching. Teaching who? Me? I don't know, Jolene. Why did you go see him? Why are you here with me? Why aren't you off buying... I don't know, Jolene. Why did you go see him? Why are you here with me? Why aren't you off buying clothes with your girlfriends or sharing a malted with your best guy? Because I'm not fooled by the images on the screen anymore? She made a question of it and was watching me, wanting to be told. You tell me, I said. She thought about it for a while before speaking. When I was 15, I was sitting in church with my parents, and I just had this totally powerful, amazing thought. I was looking at the backs of all these heads in the pews in front of me, and it just dawned on me that they were like cows, like cattle, like they weren't really human beings. Like they were just cows that were pretending they were people. I thought it was so funny, I started giggling uncontrollably, and I had to pretend I was coughing and sneak out the back. My mom was really mad. She paused, maybe only putting it together for the first time. But the thing is, it never really stopped. I still see almost everyone that way. My teachers, my family, my friends. It's like they aren't really awake, or like they just don't get it, or like they're not really there. She paused again, thinking before speaking. Always a good sign. That's why I started going out to your house last year. That's why I went to hear Yamamoto Roshi. I wanted to be around people who didn't seem like they had been taken over by aliens. Am I weird or something? It seems to me like I'm the sane one and everyone else is insane. Or like I'm awake and they're all asleep. But thinking that way sounds like the definition of insanity. I remembered that during her impassioned plea for me to treat her seriously, that she had said, I don't want to be just another, but didn't finish the thought. Now I knew what she wanted to say. Cow. You worry about that? I asked. Well, I think about it a lot. It's always with me. I feel like I'm not part of the world anymore, like that somehow I just fell out. She wandered away from her herd, and now she's alone and scared and looking for a new herd, which she'll probably have no trouble finding and being welcomed into. Plenty to choose from, but all of them effectively subherds of the one great herd. She may find a herd that suits her and settle in for a long haul, or she may spend her whole life wandering from herd to herd, perhaps at some point giving up on herds altogether and going solo. No knowing at this point, but so far, so good. Or so bad, depending on your perspective. Friends and family probably aren't too thrilled to have lost Jolene. They might not even know that they have lost her, but they have. She's gone and can never go back.
Yeah.
What time are you thinking already?
You want to stop?
Nah, we're almost done.
We're almost done.
Let's use the theater analogy some more, I said. I didn't mention it earlier, but when our guy first got out of his chains and stood up, one of the first things he saw was that the theater was full of other people. All the people he loves and cares for, held in place by the same unlocked chains and watching the same images on the screen. Like that's all there is, okay? Okay. What does he do? She answered without hesitation. He tries to help them, get them to, snap out of it, wake up, undo their chains and look around, see what's really going on. Is that what you did? Yeah, kinda. That's when I started wondering if I was losing it. I tried talking to my mom and some of my friends and even my brother, but they all just treated me like I was being goofy. Earth Jolene, that sort of thing. I stopped talking about stuff when they started getting annoyed and rude about it, like it was threatening to them or something. Just a little heads up, Jolene. People don't like to have their version of reality fucked with. Try it if you still need to get it out of your system, but prepare yourself for unpleasant results. She didn't blink at the strong language. I'm not reluctant to speak forcefully when the need for emphasis warrants it. Steering someone away from their altruistic impulses at this early stage warrants it. I was lying on my back by this point, eyes closed, soaking up the sun. So what's the difference between mysticism and enlightenment? I asked her. She took her time. Several minutes elapsed, during which I had drifted into a light doze. Then, to my delight, she answered the question correctly. I have no idea. That's it. The end of that chapter.
Cool. Okay, biggest takeaway. What's going on?
I just have to think about the theater analogy more because I don't really connect with it at all.
It's funny. He says if he would use one tool, he would use that.
Yeah.
And he doesn't mention it ever again too much, right? In many, many books. So,
Well,
but
I don't like it as an analogy. Personally.
I mean,
It doesn't mean, I don't know.
yeah.
It's just a stretch. The Matrix makes more sense.
Yeah.
But I guess biggest takeaway is that I need to. I guess I want to break down the cave analogy.
Yeah.
And see how I'm, right at how I understand it right now.
There's a piece where he talks about if you met someone who was on a set doing a film and they were playing a character, and then afterwards you talk to them and they still believe they were that character, you go, dude, you're playing a character. You're playing a cowboy in a movie. And the guy was like, oh, I'm not gonna. You would be like, dude, wake the fuck up. That's kind of the way he feels he's dealing with people all the time. And so the simple way to do it is people who take themselves too seriously. Like they really take their character too seriously.
I have a good takeaway sentence. I think he might say this somewhere later, or might be not even be him, but it's pretty sure it is. So if you start thinking, you should probably stop talking because you're going to start pissing people off.
Yeah. It's interesting, her story that she started to freak people out. I think about that. Like right now, if I met someone and they came up to me and they said, I'm concerned, Jason. I'm a coach and a counselor and a therapist. Like I'm concerned. I don't know that the world's real. I would go, oh, well, you're on the right track. Like, I mean, that's a natural, I don't got any problem with that. So I think it'd be funny. Like, but I can imagine like 15 years ago, me kind of going, oh, you're having a break with reality. There's something wrong with you.
Right.
The vast majority of people would think that. But so we inert ourselves to a large degree.
Yeah.
But I want to go back to the lion thing. Is that I think there's some validity. In my experience, I'm coming to this that there's some validity in what Jed is talking about in terms of progress. That first step thing. I don't know if that works that way. I don't know, but that the spiritual path, like he's cynical as fuck. He's telling you it's not going anywhere, right? But I think it's going places. I just think it's going places super fucking slow. Because I don't want to be sedated. I don't want to be, and maybe I'm fooling myself, Jed. I got it. Maybe, peeling layers and truth and Deepak Chopra and, killing my fears and writing spiritualitis. I'm just fucking jacking off. Who knows? I don't think I am. I just think for me, what I'm seeing is that the layers are like the skin and scales of the dragon that used to scrub head in the Voyage of the Dawn Treader. And that taking the first step is when Aslan shows up. Forget the Christ analogy, and and just claws right into your heart, and it's like the most painful experience of your life, but you come out fresh scrubbed, fresh cleaned, and so
I have to read that book.
Yeah, there's another
because I read them as a kid, and I remember after I read them, I read on forums, people talking about how annoying they were and how Christian the author was, and all just a negative stuff that I was like, what? As a kid, I was like, I just read a fantasy book. What are you talking about? And like now I want to reread them and see if I see through a bunch of shit that I didn't.
Yeah, I read them as a kid, just like you. Couldn't put them down. Loved them. They were another fantasy book in the Tolkien mold for me, like Lloyd Alexander's Prydain Chronicles. I was just the whole thing. Having said that, I will admit, going back and reading them later, like, holy shit, it's all an analogy of Jesus. So, yeah. But doesn't matter, because we can appropriate anything for anything. And this story of Jesus saving him.
That totally works.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool. Yeah. Well, we should probably end it.
Okay, everybody. Serious, good to have you here. Anybody else? Add your questions. We'll get back. We'll start looking at them and answering them.
Yeah.
It's a process. And if anyone has any, like that idea of those layers, that's really impacting me, and I'm thinking, like the prayer to the universe, can you help me by shedding huge amounts of layers? And I'm also cognizantly aware that I've been warned by Jed and by others, be careful what you wish for, because I don't know what that would look like. That could be painful and fucked up. And according to Jed, it almost always is, but then you would in the middle of it, you would wish anything to get out of it, and then when it was over, you would be utterly grateful for it. I just read in the second book or the first book, the Joe versus the volcano stuff, and he said that a lot to Joe. Like Joe got a brain cloud and he was sentenced to die.
I'm gonna have to go watch that. I've never.
Yeah, you gotta watch it. Till next time, peace.